Hey guys, welcome back to Manhattan's Voice. And this week we're back in our original setup. So if you guys aren't viewing us,
no more trauma.
You're back on your side.
Then Julian's back on his side because that's where he should definitely
I
stay.
really needed the leg room. I was dying.
Yeah. It's very tight
It's
out
my big
here.
thighs, I'm sorry.
Thick thighs.
No, it's literally just the fact that my knees can't like phase into the desk, so I had to like sit spread
You're
eagled.
man-spreading,
Like
is that it?
yeah, I had to
You're
man
man-spreading.
spread.
Wow.
That's nice. That's nice. Well, this week we have a lovely episode about things going now on.
Aren't they all lovely?
Yeah,
They are all
always
lovely,
lovely. Things happening around the world, and then also we'll bring it back to NYIT and what we're all doing. Well, first we could start about like how our week went, like what we've done in the past week.
We haven't said our names. I feel like the viewers need to be reminded of
Oh,
our names
yeah,
just
so
in case.
Who
if
are
you-
these guys?
So if you guys
Who
are
am I
new to
listening
this
to?
show, if you guys are new to this wonderful podcast that we created, I'm Nicole Miranda.
I'm Julian West.
And I am David Gustavo Contreras.
And this is
Welcome,
Manhattan's Voice, okay? Manhattan's Voice is a spin-off of the Manhattan Globe, which is the newspaper for NYIT. What is NYIT? New York Institute of Technology, where the two lovely ladies and I go to school at. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where we go to school. That's where we are right now. And what?
I'll tell the room number 2.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to know.
Our longitude
10.
and latitude.
Yeah. So let's go around and see how we are all doing since the last time we.
Do you want to start this time? I feel like you never start.
Ladies first.
All right. So ladies first this time. I mean, all right, Julian, go. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
So I'll go first. So this past week, when was the last time we recorded? It was last Thursday.
Yeah.
So that was like the last orientation, and it was pretty busy.
Handshakes and non-handshakes.
That day, the day after we filmed and the day after orientation, I had the day off and I ended up getting sick. So
Ooh,
maybe I sound a little stuffy now. If you guys can tell, my mom could tell. I love you, Mom.
Yeah,
But
yeah, mother knows.
Those
Mother
mom
knows
senses.
best. Yeah, so I got sick, unfortunately, and I stayed the whole day, Friday, in bed because I just couldn't move and everything just hurted. And hurted.
It hurted.
Yeah, hurted.
I'm hurting.
And I said I was gonna go to the gym. I really put my alarm. I swear to you guys, I promise.
This is all just one lie just to say that she didn't go to the gym.
I
you weren't
promise
sick. She was in the.
She's
in the
making up
club,
a
in the
story
bar.
now.
Yeah, exactly. I
She's
was
ad-libbing.
sick. My mom saw me sick, and I didn't go to the gym.
My liver hurt, and I just couldn't go.
No. I was really sick,
dehydrated.
and I normally don't really
Caught the
get
bubonic
sick
plague all
because I try to take care of myself, and I don't really mess around like that. But this time I actually got sick, and I didn't get up like at all. I didn't do anything, and I really don't like being lazy, and I was lazy all Friday, which kind of sucked. But I noticed that I have to really take care of myself, and that's not what I've been doing. And we were literally talking about taking care of our bodies and mental health and all that stuff.
We're going from mental health to physical health now.
Yes, definitely. I should listen to
Consult
my
your
own
physicians,
advice.
guys. Consult your physicians.
Yeah. So then after that, Saturday, I don't even know what I did Saturday, but I know what I did Sunday. I went.
Somebody had a good Saturday.
No, I think I was just resting all day.
She was passed out not from any kind of substance, but from the cold.
Yeah, no.
Probably.
I was in bed. I
date quill,
remember.
baby.
I remember I sent out to like my streaks on like Snapchat that like I was in bed from like 10 p.m.
I'm sick.
Yeah, I was in bed from 10 p.m. Thursday night to 10 a.m. Saturday morning. And like I was in bed for a minute, and I'm telling you, I was
crazy.
dead. And I don't ever get that sick, but I just like
She went off the grid.
It just it knocked you out.
yeah. So, but I got better. I slept most of it off, and then Sunday I went paintballing with my cousins. And if you're watching this podcast, then you'd probably see maybe these bruises on my arms. It probably
Guys, if you can't see this, they're literally like she got struck by baseballs.
Yeah.
From
On
Randy
my-
Johnson.
on
literally.
my bicep and on my forearm. This is my forearm, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they don't hurt anymore, but I got shot on my bicep, my forearm, my middle finger, my I'm just gonna say my thigh, and then also on my head. I got shot on my head. I was wearing clothing, obviously, but it just yeah, it was just that like even I really struggled because it was my first time and I wanted to cry, but I didn't want to look like a little baby in front of everybody that was there. And
Just
like
try not to let the tears run down.
Nah, guys, I'm cool.
The first time I got shot, I literally jumped up and I started screaming, like trying to like take my mind away from the pain that like was affecting my body. But after that, I was just like, okay, I just gotta like willpower through this.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I looked so bad and like so Call of Duty, I guess. Bad joke. But
Modern warfare right here.
so I did that and it was a good time. Besides all these bruises that
I've
I
never
have.
been have you ever been paintball?
No, I
I've
really
never
wanna
been struck
go.
by paintball, so you're
trying to plan
you're tougher
something
than
with
both
my
of us in
friends.
this specific moment right now.
Hey, that's why I call you the ladies.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm
We
just
go
kidding.
paintballing, bro. We gotta get bruises on our forearms so
Yeah.
I can toughen up.
I'm gonna come back covered in them,
Yeah.
and then we'll
I
see
showed
what's
you.
Yeah. And then what else? I basically worked and then what?
So essentially, all week and week, you got your ass just kicked.
Yeah, basically
Why?
by my sickness, by paintballs and
by projectiles.
by work, and then also painting because like my best friend's birthday is tomorrow, so this episode comes out like a
Wait,
week
your-
after.
whose birthday? is
It's
tomorrow?
Aaron's birthday tomorrow.
My father's birthday is tomorrow.
Hey.
So happy
Oh,
birthday.
Yeah.
happy early birthday!
Happy birthday
to
Well,
Aaron.
To all the
belated
Le-
by the
Leos
time
out
this comes
there.
out. So happy belated birthday, Aaron!
Shout out to
and,
my
and
Leos.
David's dad.
Yeah. So it's Aaron's birthday tomorrow, and obviously, like since this podcast is like released like a week later, I had
true.
I had to finish like a painting for her
Aw, you
because
made
she
her a painting?
I
That's so
painted
sweet.
something. It was like the New York City skyline, and then
Aw.
it's like says like, oh, like grateful for all like the memories we've already created and like the many more to come or something like that. And then it's like the city's forever art. It's like, you know, Etsy and Tumblr.
Just
Or
girly
whatever.
things.
Just
It's
girly
one of those
things.
just girly things.
things,
Yeah.
that's funny.
Yeah, because I don't know,
Damn.
support and
I gotta
love.
paint something for my father now. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Paint
step up
him,
your game.
Paint him like a Metallica album cover.
I know you like Ride the Lightning, so
So that's what I'm doing tomorrow, hanging out with Aaron and
Cool.
your
Sarah.
body arrest.
Yeah.
Literally.
Trying,
Yeah, for real.
literally. I feel like I never do that, which I should. Which
Sometimes
is
you need that time
really
off.
bad. That's why. Like on Friday, I guess that was my day off. But I normally don't have days off, which like really stinks.
No days off. Hashtag on the grind.
Exactly. But anyways, enough about me. So what about you, Julian? What did you do this past week?
Working
Ooh.
hard.
Yep.
Um,
This is literally all we do.
Yeah.
Work.
but honestly, like, yeah.
Oh wow, you guys have such a great summer. But I swear more is to come in the next month.
But like, I'm running around. Like, honestly, like, I'm not even complaining about working so hard because like I'm cranking out the podcast. I'm doing stuff for Res Life and like the summer housing assistant stuff like
Awesome.
that. I am still working at NYIT, the New York Film Academy. I keep saying NYIT, and then some people are like, "What is that?"
Yeah. I don't know.
Like when you say NYT, what is that?
Okay, nice.
The Film Academy.
That sounds cool though.
The New York Film Academy. I keep saying that. I have to start saying the full name.
Sounds like a Pokemon with like knives all over
NYIT,
it.
yeah.
Knifa.
Knife, do sword attack.
But yeah, still loving that job.
That's awesome.
It just keeps getting better.
I couldn't imagine not just loving
Like,
every second of that job.
It's so crazy. Like I know I mentioned it I think last episode, but like not every kid that goes to the filmmaking course is like as into it as like I would be or like the teachers would be.
Sure,
but like
as would any
there are
classroom.
those select few that show up and have shot lists and storyboards, and they know their locations. They know exactly what kind of shot sizes they want. They know like what camera they want to use, what focal length. Like it's insane.
And these are like
and
14-year-olds, right?
14, 15.
That's
like,
crazy.
Wild, man. Wild.
it's so
They got their life together more than me.
yeah. I just feel like I have to catch up to that. Like I need to,
You're telling me,
especially after a year and a half in engineering
Oh yeah.
that I don't need anymore.
It's okay. It's okay.
Wow.
though. Everything happens for a
If you're making
reason.
a documentary on engineering, bro, you're set. You have that leg
I
up.
Yo.
don't think I'm ever gonna do that.
That's a riveting
What,
content.
what
are you
if?
sure?
What if?
Yeah, we just calculated the tangent of the acceleration graph of this little particle here,
You
and
lost me.
we created half a black hole, but then it went away in like 0.002 milliseconds. Like I can't.
Riveting.
I can't.
Oscars, here you come.
Working hard. If you saw my pictures, possibly on my Instagram,
Like and
I
comment.
am starting I'm gearing up for my next film project,
Ooh.
35 millimeter project.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've just been
Tuesday. Your Tuesday.
Yeah, my Tuesday. So I'm gonna be shooting with my first subject, and we're shooting on the Upper East Side.
That's cool.
It's gonna be really fun.
Bougie.
I'm just
Do you have like your location already set? Like you know exactly where you're going?
kind of sorta. I'm leaving it up to her, just because like
Do we know her?
no, she's I met her in high school.
Oh.
She
Wow, he has new friends.
like this.
Your place is that fast, huh?
Wow,
Sorry
so
guys,
rude.
I'm sorry. I had to do it.
So are we gonna fire this guy?
Yeah, probably.
I'll put in my 2-week notice.
2 weeks.
I'll be gone then too. I'm kidding.
I'll be hosting this by myself. Hey guys, David again.
We're back with David.
Me on FaceTime, like, are you okay?
But yeah, that's exciting.
That's
Nothing,
dope.
nothing
No, yeah,
much.
super
I'm
pumped
just,
for you, brother.
I'm just lots of art stuff.
Yay.
Lots of art stuff.
We
Artsy
love an
fartsy.
artsy guy.
That's me. What have you been up to, David?
Yeah, David.
Well, training's done at Vans, but yeah, I'm on the sales floor now. I got a huge paper cut at work on like the cardboard.
Oh yeah, it's like
Dude,
like
it's
a
like-
canyon.
yeah, it's deep.
yeah.
Because I was grabbing and I slid down and all of a sudden I just started bleeding all over the box. And it was like, whoa! And like this customer was like waiting on like her size like 5. I'm just like, oh, can you tell her I'm gonna be like a second? I just like apparently just cut off my thumb.
Medic.
I literally wrapped it up, went out there and like gave her her shoe size, and she wanted the other size. So
Okay.
great. So all of that was pretty much for nothing. I
Yeah.
bled,
Wow.
but yeah, nothing else.
Do you have
So
like
that's David's highlight of his week.
yeah,
Did you have
I
someone?
bled.
Did you have someone like rush over and like?
No,
Put your
I'm like,
thumb in a
guys,
tourniquet?
Do we have like band-aids? Like, oh, just wrap it up in the bandage, put the tape on it. I'm just like, all right, fine.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess.
wouldn't stop for the rest of the day. Like, I
Wow.
kept changing it out.
You're so strong.
I thought, like, dude, am I gonna need stitches? I really don't want to get stitches on the tip of my thumb right now.
You're so strong.
Yeah, I got a
David.
paper cut. Can you stitch me
Yeah.
up, Doc?
But yeah, I've really just been hanging out, enjoying the sun and rain, I guess.
Listen, I'm okay with the rain. It's
No,
still
I'm not.
it's too hot.
Mm-mm.
It's too hot.
I just
Yeah,
want
but then
fall
it gets
to
so
come.
humid.
Yes,
Hot-
I hate.
Hot take. It's too hot.
Hot take is
Guys.
too hot.
Yeah.
Amen, bro. We're just such like fall winter
Yeah.
bodies, bro, for real.
Fall game.
Fall.
Winter squad.
Whoa. I guess that's it for catching up with
For
us
check-ins, yeah.
Nothing else to
because
say.
the highlight for me, I guess paintball. You paper cut. You photo
Damn,
shoot on
wow.
Tuesday.
I feel really.
Your highlight this past week
I
was
got
a paper cut.
That's it.
It'd be like that. All right, guys. So the first topic we have today is the asteroid that almost, took us. And when I mean almost, it was probably about 43,000 miles away.
Yeah, it's
But
like closer
for-
than the
Might not
moon,
seem like
closer
a
than the
lot.
moon.
For an object that's traveling through space, that's not that far.
Yeah,
Like,
that is it. And that's closer than the sun.
We should have called Bruce Willis in that oil rig, and they would
The,
have shit everyone on there.
the sun is like
Play some Aerosmith.
90. Don't take me for word. It's like 93,000 miles.
Actually,
No, I
not
think it's
having a
more
word.
than that.
I saw 90 in an article.
Come on, you're the brains, bro.
I think
Come
it's more than
on.
that. Listen, I just know all I can say about that is that whatever that distance is between the Earth and the Sun, that's called 1 astronomical unit.
Interesting.
I'm just
I
gonna
actually
say.
knew that. An AU.
Good job.
Woo! I
Bam.
took astronomy in middle school.
How
Okay.
far the sun? Okay, it's
I
actually.
know it was closer than
It's
what it is to the moon. I know that.
ninety-two
Doesn't-
Yeah.
point
doesn't
ninety
seem that
six
close.
million miles away.
I knew it was in the millions. I knew.
So
There's no way
Yeah,
it's
sure,
93,000. We would melt. We would be dead.
exactly, but how far the?
How far the sun?
No, not the
How
sun.
far is sun?
Hey,
hey Siri,
Hey
how far
Google,
sun?
how far sun? Oh, it didn't work.
I wonder
Oh,
who would
well.
get an answer first, like Google or Siri.
Hey Google.
Nah, I'm not gonna try.
It doesn't want to. Google doesn't want to talk to me.
Hey Siri.
All right, well, it's quote
It didn't work for
unquote
either of us.
city killer asteroid misses
Yeah, they called it
Earth.
a city
bit
killer.
dramatic city killer.
No, I mean
I know,
that's
but like
because-
give it like a name, like a hurricane or something.
No,
man.
because the impact, if it were to hit Earth, it would have hit 30
It would've killed a
times
city.
as the impact of Hiroshima. So that's insane.
something coming
Hiroshima.
from space has a lot of energy to it. So
Oh,
Like I said,
it
bro,
was.
we should have called
It
Bruce
says
Willis.
it says asteroid 2019, okay, which is the name of the asteroid that almost hit us, came hurtling towards Earth at a speed of nearly 15 miles a second before flying past. According to NASA, it was about 45,000 miles away, miles from Earth on Thursday, and it would have hit with over 30 times the energy of the atomic blast at Hiroshima. Which is insane because they didn't
Sometimes-
know about it. Astronauts
what
didn't
part
know
of the
about it
Earth-
until it
after.
passed by
What
us.
part
Yeah.
of the Earth was it closest to? Like what country?
I'm not sure.
I was trying to figure that out because if the asteroid were to hit us, like what part of the Earth would have been impacted by it? And I haven't like really.
This is how so many sci-fi movies start.
There's that would have been hard to calculate. Actually, there would have been chances that if it even like came in contact with our atmosphere, it could potentially like skip off, like if it came in at the wrong angle. I know too much about this. I'm just our atmosphere's weird. It could have bounced off of us. The angle that it came in, like it could have gone straight down. It could have arced along the Earth. It could have like slowed down and broken off and made multiple like meteors. Like there's a lot of variables to it.
And then there's like other articles, like this is from CNN. An asteroid bigger than the Empire State Building is passing by Earth next week. Here's why we shouldn't be worried. Once they could do CNN. Once they do that comparison,
relaxed approach.
Once
this is why you don't gotta worry, guys.
There's a big rock flying through space right now. Don't worry about it.
Once they do that
we call
comparison,
it the city killer. But don't be alarmed.
No, it's not the city killer. It's
it's
another
a different one.
It's a different one.
Okay.
It says, there's an asteroid bigger than the Empire State Building passing by Earth. No, it's not anything to worry about. It's actually pretty normal. Pretty normal.
No, we get passed by asteroids a lot.
But that's just scary to think. And then, the asteroid OK, 2019 OK, the one that just passed, that almost hit us. Yeah, the city killer.
I like city killer better.
They didn't acknowledge, like they didn't know that it was about to would have hit us until after the fact.
Like, the fact that like we just didn't see it coming.
Astronomers,
like a sucker punch, literally.
Because it was in the sun was interfering with like how like they viewed it, like how it was.
It's a conspiracy. So the sun was covering up this asteroid. Yeah, it's a conspiracy, guys.
The sun's
those
trying
sun
to kill
people,
us.
bro. It's the sun people.
Yeah,
they're like throwing rocks at us.
It's like, this is for you. And then, what is it? There's just like, space is just scary.
Listen,
like, space is so scary.
It's cool though.
Do you think
there's a
we're
car
the
in
only,
space now?
Do you think we're the only people, like creatures or whatever out here?
Okay.
Because
that's a tangent in its own.
I think there's factors to that as well.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
The
Just say
universe
yes or no.
is so big that how could we even know?
I think so. Okay, I think yes, but there are other factors to that because like the science has been done, and they know that like the variables, like the conditions that you need to start life and then continue life even after it's been established are so like infinitesimally small. Like the odds for that, it's insane. So like that's why we don't really know. And there's other things called, I know too much about this. You know who I look like? I look like the aliens guy.
I know what you're talking about. Aliens.
I'm not saying it was aliens, but anyway, there are these things called great filters where
oh yeah, I use those on Instagram all the time. I look great.
No, these are talking about these are filters for entire civilizations. Okay. So they're
you're telling me the aliens are using Instagram too, is what you're telling me?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
There are conditions or stages of like a civilization's advancement to where that civilization would only exist if they managed to live through and survive through that filter. So for us, one filter that might be headed our way is like runaway global warming. So either if we don't get it under control or if our species like can't survive through absolutely insane temperatures, we're done. And like that's our filter. And some scientists,
I feel bad for these babies that are just being born who are gonna like have to deal with all this and all that stuff.
It's a mess.
Best friends with an alien someday.
But
man, if any aliens are listening right now, I love you.
Pick me up.
We come in peace.
Pick me up.
We come in peace and listen.
Mom, pick me up. I'm scared.
Mom, pick me up. I think the Earth is dying. No, but regarding back to the asteroid that
Sorry, I took it way.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
And they said I wanted to say that it was discovered this week by 2 astronomy teams in Brazil and in the U.S. and confirmed by NASA's Jet Propulsion. All right, I need to go. Lab. And it was noted as the largest rock to pass by Earth this year.
Wait, JPL? the Jet Propulsion Lab?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're
Anyways,
nerdish
it's
showing
the,
I'm a
Julian.
dork. I'm sorry.
it's the largest rock to pass by Earth this year and possibly even this decade, according to New York Post in this article that I am reading right now, just to make sure I know what
Cue
I'm
the
talking
Aerosmith.
about. But yeah, so it's called a city killer, and it because it's so small, it's incredibly hard to see until right at the last minute. That's probably why, and also because of the sun, because I think it was like going by the sun.
Yeah, so it like
It's like catching a baseball.
in terms of
I
in terms of its size, the reason it probably would have been so destructive probably wasn't because it was so big, but because it was going so fast. That's probably why. Like there's two factors to it, and like also the size affects how it would have entered our atmosphere, back to our atmosphere, because our atmosphere is weird.
You got him
but-
going now.
Yeah, sorry. I
Anyway.
take that back. Okay.
Listen, just don't get me started.
It's a rabbit hole you don't want to go down.
Yeah, it really be like that. But that's insane, and
Yeah.
I'm glad they realized.
Phew.
They realized
Thank
it
goodness.
after the fact that it happened, and
Oh boy.
Hey guys, we
that was
could
a
have
close
died.
one. You know,
Remember when the Earth almost ended? It was wild. We almost went out.
Well, and remember when we missed it?
Remember when
Whoa.
we almost went out dinosaur style? Holy
Wait.
moly.
did you see that meme on Twitter? It was like when I have
I deleted
kids.
Twitter.
Really, it was like a meme. It's like when I have kids, I'm gonna show my kids that movie 2012 and tell them that I
Lived through that?
lived through
No,
that.
we're gonna be telling our kids we lived through the Area 51 raid. That's what's gonna
I made
happen.
a bucket list like my freshman year of high school, and the big thing was like, oh, dude, number like whatever survived 2012. And guess what?
Dude,
Did it.
that was a crazy
Bro,
time.
I was a little girl. I was 12. I was thinking the
You were
world.
12?
I was 12.
Jesus
I remember
Christ.
like
I was born in 2000.
I remember hearing
2012? Wow. That's
I
wild.
remember
I
hearing
was
on the news
17.
I remember hearing on the news like the exact like time that they had predicted the world was gonna end.
Yeah, dude.
And it started raining that day. I was like, "Oh my god."
That's it. We're
And
done. We're
I was
done.
standing outside staring at my watch in the rain. I'm like, "Please don't."
Dude,
No.
I was literally at McDonald's. I was working at McDonald's. I was like, bro, I'm gonna die at a McDonald's right now. This is how I'm gonna go out at McDonald's with an apron on.
I was in bed because I
Oh,
knew.
shit.
I'm chilling.
I was in bed and I was just like, I can't believe it. And like when like
She's like in shock.
no,
The
literally.
Mayans, man, the Mayans.
I'm the type of person that gets so sketched out with all this stuff, like stuff about like dying and stuff like that, because that's just the person I am. When I watch like TV shows that are really really old and I realize these people are old, like they're young in the show, but now they're old, I get so upset, and I don't know. I just
That's how time works.
Yeah, I know, but it gets.
Wait, hold on.
Time
Excuse me?
passes.
We age and get older.
Obviously, I didn't get time traveling the last time I did that.
Yeah,
but
now you know. Now you're an experienced
Now I
time
know.
traveler.
But it was just, it just always gets me, and then I just get so uncomfortable realizing
You
it
gotta get
because
to
I
your
just
head.
want to stay forever, I guess, like
Well,
young or like in the
we
moment.
made it, and I
There we
crossed
go.
it off the bucket list, and I didn't die at McDonald's. So, but
I'm
I
glad
still
you.
could die at McDonald's.
I'm
but
glad you
That was a
didn't
spooky
die at
day, man.
McDonald's though, because that'd been a bad
spooky.
place to die.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, but besides dying,
Let's get
and-
away from
Yeah,
mortality.
yeah,
Come
yeah.
on, man.
All right, new things that are coming up, like the new Pixel 4 teaser.
Yeah, this is one that I really want
Yeah.
to talk about.
Because you have the
Oh,
Google. You have the
yawn.
Google.
I have the Pixel 3.
Oh,
and
are you
the
gonna
4 is
upgrade?
coming out. No, I'm gonna wait a couple of years.
I was about to say. I thought. Yeah.
I don't
You were
need to.
talking
I don't
about
need
how,
to
like,
upgrade
people-
that.
yeah.
I don't need to upgrade that.
When'd you
quickly.
get this phone?
This past October.
All right,
So I
so
haven't
you
even
just
had
got-
it for a year.
Yeah, yeah,
But,
yeah.
Do you like? When do you get a new phone? When that's like completely busted?
Um,
That's how I do it. If once it's like done,
once
it's
once
done.
it gets noticeably slow, I start thinking
Oh,
about
okay,
it.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm thinking at least 2 years.
And this
before I
phone's
get
Good
it.
man, good
good. You
man.
recorded when you did your final interview.
Yeah.
You recorded like majority of your
can-
footage on here
I can
too.
record in 4K at
Footage.
30 footage.
Footage.
Yeah, I can.
You
My
said butt. Oh my god.
All right.
I can.
Funny.
Yeah, I can record in 4K at 30 frames per second.
I
I think
don't know what
iPhones
I
can do
record.
4K too, but
They can.
I think so.
La-di-da.
Anyway,
Hey, can I text you on iMessage really fast? Ooh, babe.
listen here.
Can I put you in a group chat?
Okay, don't start.
Yeah, we can't put him in a group
Yeah, but
chat.
it's green. I don't speak green, bro. I don't
Listen,
speak
the
green.
green text bubble
Your phone isn't
discrimination.
even connected right
Yeah,
now.
The
Shut
Shut
up.
green
up.
Shout out to Sprint.
text bubble discrimination is disgusting. Let's leave it there because I don't want to start this.
Honestly, it really is, and I'm sorry out there for whoever has those green bubbles, but
Android users,
We on that blue light.
Android users, I feel your pain when you're discriminated. When people say,
Okay, but what's
when people
new?
say you have a crappy camera, I feel it.
You
I mean,
you
you
can
have
actually
the
do what? Okay,
Google
but
phone, so
what's
it's
new with the
something.
Pixel 4? What are they bringing? What are they bringing me here? Try to
Okay.
sell me
It's
on
a
the
lot
Pixel
of crazy
4.
stuff.
Yeah, sell me
It's
on the
gonna
Pixel 4.
have, I believe it's 3 different cameras on the back.
Yeah, there's
That's
like a
totally
bunch
not-
of.
totally not
it's
overkill.
it's 2 or 3. Well, Apple's gonna do the same thing with the 11.
Well, they'll
apparently.
probably
yeah,
do it
there's
better
like
though. They'll
4.
probably-
yeah, okay, yeah, okay.
I'll
There's gonna
I'll actually
be.
get that one, Julian.
Oh,
Just kidding.
God, you
I
just
probably
disgust
won't. I
me.
probably won't.
So there's gonna be 2 different lenses on the back. I think one's a sensor and then a flash and a mic and stuff like that.
Cool.
They're changing the design aesthetic a lot. Apparently, they're getting rid of the fingerprint sensor on the back, which I don't like.
They have that?
Because I actually appreciate the fingerprint sensor right where my pointer finger lands.
Where is the fingerprint?
It's right. It's that circle.
I never knew
That's
that.
the fingerprint sensor.
I never knew that.
I really like. That was one of my favorite things about the Pixel because
Yeah.
like they decided to keep that in when like a lot of other Android phones are taking it out
Facial
because
identity, bro.
it's literally where my finger lands when I'm holding my phone.
So let's say you lose your finger, you can't open it.
Oh no!
But if I lose my
it's not
finger-
like I
if I
have
lose my
more
finger-
fingers.
It's not true.
Anyway,
Yeah, you're right.
What
so
if you,
that-
okay, let's say you lose all of your fingers.
that's a problem. So they're changing the design aesthetic. They're getting rid of the fingerprint sensor on the back.
They're moving to the front.
It's gonna have Face ID.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
Catching up, eh?
I have a story about this. I got to try the Face ID early.
Really?
We got that illy
So
hookup.
so
that
story.
Manhattan
No,
Voice
no, no,
podcast
no.
hookup. I
So
hear.
I was actually walking towards campus. I was walking past the Starbucks that's now closed. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that
Big whip.
later.
So I was walking past there, and this lady stops me, and she's like, "Hey, free Starbucks gift card." I'm like, "I'm not gonna pass that
Yeah,
up, bro."
no.
Why'd
So
you
I
say that?
Sell your soul away
I
for
stopped.
Wow, you didn't even message
Give us your
us?
soul. We'll give you $20 for Starbucks.
no, she was in the process of walking. So as soon as I was done, she like left. But she stopped me and she was like, "Yeah, I just need like 5 minutes of your time. I'll give you a gift card and then we're all good." I'm like, "Okay, cool." She hands me. First of all, she had a Pixel 3 in her hand. First of all, she hands
Instant
me.
connection.
She hands me this. It's a phone, but it's in this like.
I hope.
It's in this really awkward, like super boxy, like inconspicuous case. And the point is that you're not supposed to be able to see the back or any of the things on the like bezel
front?
of the phone.
Oh, so you don't tell it like that
so-
it's a
Classified.
Pixel
So you're
4.
not supposed to be able to tell, but I knew because I saw the advanced picture that
And
that
because you're
Google,
Julian.
that Google put out of like the 4 sensors on the back, and there were 4 holes in the case on the back in the exact same spots. I'm like, this is the Pixel 4. I already know.
Did you tell her that?
I didn't say it till the end. Just
so-
wait. So I'm like inside. I'm like I'm exploding
This
because
fool.
I'm holding it in my hands. So she gives it to me and she runs me through all these trials of like test scenarios. So she wouldn't actually let me put it in my pocket because like I guess she was afraid that I would like
You
run off with
run?
it because it's literally like a prototype of a phone that isn't out
Yeah.
yet. But she had me like hold it on my side and like pretend to walk and then bring it up to my face so it could like do the scan.
Quick.
And it was fast. It looked good. The screen looked amazing. So there's no bottom bezel on the 4. There's only going to be a top bezel, and then they're keeping
Wait, what's a bezel?
a bezel
Like-
is like the
like,
space that's not a screen.
Right?
Okay.
Like this? Like
Yeah,
there's no
yeah,
bezel
yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah,
iPhone. Like
yeah.
how the iPhone XR just has like the screen and
Yeah.
it has the cameras up on top.
Yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
What color is your phone?
White.
So the top bezel, they're keeping the 2 cameras. They're keeping the speaker. There's a new like infrared sensor next to the speaker that's part of the Face ID system, and then there's something else on the other side that I don't know what it's for yet.
Grappler gun or something?
I'm gonna find it. Yeah. Oh, actually, I do know what it's for
It's a
because
grappler gun?
no, because Google released a teaser for this the other day. Hopefully, I'll have it on screen here, like a little clip of it. But they're introducing this thing that they were working on called Project Soli. I don't know what they're gonna call it when the
what I think
phone
it
comes
is?
out, but it's gesture control.
Yes.
So you can
yes,
have-
I
thought it
saw
was
They
the
released it. They
video.
released a teaser. First, it's like the phone's like floating. It's not actually floating,
Yeah.
but
It's in front of the face.
This woman, like, she comes up to the phone, it unlocks because it has Face ID now, and then she's literally like not touching the phone, she's swiping across and it's skipping songs on Spotify.
Okay,
and
like
it-
just using your
Oh,
hand.
Yeah.
and then also like like your gestures of like the fingers.
Yeah.
You can change
Yeah,
like the
like, change
settings, like
volume
the
and-
volumes.
yeah.
If you like go up, it's like to higher. If you go down, it's to lower.
crazy.
Also like
It's
to
weird.
switch like
It's,
music and all that stuff
So
too.
let's say I have
It
it in my
was-
hand. I can just like
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no.
It was something that Google had patented a while ago. I think it's a type of radar or something like that.
That
but,
is crazy.
They were working on it for a couple of years, and now they're putting it in the 4, which is insane.
That's cool though. I mean, I still wouldn't trade my
yeah,
iPhone.
but the thing is, it's not going to be a downgrade. Like, they're upgrading the cameras, they're upgrading the screen. Apparently, the screen is going to look a lot better because, okay, more technical stuff here. It doesn't support. I think it's called a P3 color gamut because the colors are the color like the colors on the pixel
that.
screens.
Gambit, yes, from X-Men, yes.
The
yes,
colors on the pixel screens in the past haven't been super accurate. Like, it still looks good, but sometimes, like on the Pixel 2, there was a blue shift if you tilted the phone a certain
All
way.
right, so they're moving up in the game.
They're stepping up,
That's
and they're doing a
awesome.
great job.
You're playing your best game of catch up with the iPhone.
I'm not really
I know,
because
kidding.
we still have
we don't have this hype
we
yet,
still
so
have the best camera that's out there right now. So anyway,
that's cute.
You know, I really I was taking I think it was this weekend that I was trying to take pictures, but I was trying to take pictures and I refer back to these Instagram models and all these models,
yeah.
you know, who take some nice pictures on their iPhone, and I'm like, why do I not have the same quality as these
Dude, but
people?
aren't these billboards like, oh, now shot on iPhone, you know? Like these
I
big
hate
Apple-
those. I don't think those are true.
Yeah, jealous.
I feel like they're
jealous,
not true.
I think
doubtness,
here's the
hater,
thing. Here's the
hater.
thing.
My pictures be
Here's the
coming out
thing.
real trash.
The part about being shot on iPhone could be accurate, but they don't say anything about editing. They don't say anything about retouching.
Edited on iPhone.
They don't say anything
Ooh.
about compositing.
But,
So
I don't know.
those pictures initially
Those are
might have been
crazy pictures,
taken
like
on an
mountain shots,
iPhone,
Yeah.
but they
edited
might have
with
done something
apps
to it
and-
afterwards. So I don't
Or maybe not.
believe it. I don't believe it.
You're a hater.
I honestly don't believe it either because
Thank you.
You're on my side.
I mean, although I have an iPhone, I take pictures and so I have to obviously I edit my pictures not in crazy filters or editing me to have a perfect face, but
Your face is perfect enough, Nicole. Don't worry.
Why you hyping me up?
Be true to
back
yourself.
here? My
Self-respect,
lady's
guys.
so
That's what we're all about here.
Love
sweet.
yourself.
My ladies,
So
I love
let's-
my ladies.
I guess let's kind of turn this to you guys because I've done most of the nerding out about this. Now that Apple's going to be doing something similar, I mean, with a triple camera system,
That is-
do you
How are you gonna
think
work it?
do you think that Apple still has an edge? Because actually there have been
It's-
reports that over the past 3 years, iPhone sales have been declining because
Yeah.
people are so now content with the phones that they don't feel the need to upgrade every year.
There's still an
Question.
edge, but it's not as big as it used to be.
Question: How
Okay.
much is the new? Do you know how much the Pixel 4 is gonna be?
They haven't released the price yet.
But how much? Okay, so how much was the Pixel 3?
This was about 800
All right, and iPhones go for over 1,000.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
easily.
XR goes for like 8.
Easily.
Really?
Yeah.
What goes for 1,000 then?
The plus or whatever.
X Plus or
Oh.
The XS
XL.
or
Yeah,
whatever.
XS.
I was gonna say
XS.
maybe money.
Isn't that funny how it's called
wise.
XS, but it's
The XS.
yeah,
Yeah.
XS.
It's excessive.
it's a bit on the nose.
Guess it just depends. I don't
Plus,
know.
that thing is
So,
huge. Have you ever held? They're humongous.
it's gigantic.
That's why I got the XR because my hand.
Yeah, I have the
carrying an
XR
iMac.
too.
I got the red one. I didn't like it.
So you said that their edge is shrinking.
It's not as big as it used to be. I see
After Steve
pixels
Jobs
and everything
died.
else.
Damn.
No, not
I'm
even.
just
It's just they're stepping up their game. I could see it. Me personally, I wouldn't get one, but if it was I don't know,
They're
it'd have to be
going.
pretty cool and pretty, wow, this is.
I mean, it's
they can
already
do
pretty
that?
cool, but
They're going deep into technology with the what is it called?
gesture control.
Yeah, the gesture control,
I didn't know that's wild.
That is wild. That's next gen. I guess next
Wait,
generation,
however, wait.
futuristic stuff. That's crazy.
You can't see me personally. Why I probably won't leave because I have Apple Music, not Spotify. Which I have to make. I have to make the trade.
It's that ecosystem. It's that ecosystem, man. It brings you in, and they don't want to let you
For
out.
real, dude.
That's the thing.
What?
Apple's ecosystem. It's made to make you want to use other Apple products all the time. That's
Yeah,
the point.
So right now, currently,
As you
I'm
put
gonna
your Apple
look.
Watch
I know.
away.
I'm gonna look so posh, oh, she has Apple products, but they were all
Bougie.
gifted to me. So I have my iPhone, right, the XR, because
That was a gift.
Yeah, well, like my mom, obviously, like she pays for it. Like I'm not paying for it.
Lucky.
Yeah, my mom. I love you, Mom. Thanks
Mom,
for.
can you pay for mine, please?
Hey,
Yeah.
Mom.
This is
Mom.
David who said hi. Who said hi. But yeah, obviously, because like I'm on their plan and stuff like that. And then this watch I got from my sister because I got into my first college and she decided to buy me a watch. But if she didn't buy me this, I probably wouldn't have gotten it. And then like AirPods, like the I have my AirPods.
You have to have AirPods. Like Manhattan's like the uniform. You have to have AirPods.
And then like it's just like beneficial because like the first when I had like my iPhone 6 and then I had like the wires, I would be on the train and it'd be so inconvenient like to like untangle them and all this stuff.
What are those over there? I'm just curious.
Listen.
What are those wires?
Listen.
I'm sorry.
Listen, you're making me sound like a peasant.
Sorry.
And
then I got these, and then at one time I was like hanging out with my dad. We went out to breakfast, and like we just like went into the Apple Store just cause. And then I was just like,
we just walked into one of those most expensive stores in the U.S.
No, because he likes Apple.
We dropped
too,
our bar of gold on the table.
So then,
I'd like some Apple products,
I told
please.
you guys not to judge me. And then I go in, and then like I'm like, oh, like Pa, like look at these headphones, like, but I didn't like I thought I was just
I'm
like.
sure you were slick
Are
with
you
it.
gonna get them
Wow,
for
look at
me?
these headphones. They're
Are you gonna get them for
They
me?
would look really good on me. Don't you think?
Like I really like the sound quality.
he was like, oh, and then like I think one of the Apple members like showed us like the where you can automatically change your sound, like
so they
the
baited,
songs.
they baited you.
Yeah,
in.
they baited me in.
You want to try
And
them
my dad, because he was like, that's really cool. Do you want them? I was like, are you being serious?
I mean, I guess I'll take them.
I mean,
If
I
you're
guess
offering-
I
if
wouldn't
you
mind.
want to. I mean, I'm like, I'm not
I
gonna say
guess.
no. I mean, I be working real hard in school and whatever, so I be trying. And
Dad,
then,
I'm working really hard in school too. If you want, you can get me Apple Pods.
so I had my AirPods even when I had my iPhone 6, but then when I upgraded, then I obviously
You had
got
an
this.
iPhone 6 before that?
Yeah,
That's
I had
a big jump.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a big jump.
I had exactly. So I was just like, and my phone was slow. When I tell you,
That's because Apple automatically slows down your phone.
and once they update, yes, I know that, and I'm falling into their
Android phones don't
Wait,
do that.
Do
Oh
you
my
taste
God.
that? I taste a little saltiness in there.
You guys are the ones
Just
that
out
are
of
salty
pure
because your phones got slow without you wanting them to be slow. So
Alright.
I'm
Did
not.
you say
I don't
you-
have to
did
be
you
salty.
say you
Okay,
get a new
okay,
phone when
okay,
your
okay.
phone
I'm
slows
just
down?
saying.
Did you just say
Anyways,
that?
see what had happened was, and then that's how I got. We said not to bang
Oh,
on the
sorry,
thing.
sorry.
So then so then I got my AirPods, and then even before I got all of this, my loving aunt, who
You're the only person I know who says aunt.
why
I say aunt.
People say aunt.
aunt, whatever.
I say
No,
aunt.
that's what I'm saying. Like nobody I know says aunt at all.
All right, my aunt.
No, yeah,
she
do your thing,
was
yes.
my savior, and like I think it was my senior year in high school. She got me my laptop, and I was just like, I needed that, and hopefully it never goes.
An Apple Mac, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Apple Mac.
So those are all the Apple products that I own. If you guys were wondering,
You
now
also
you guys
have
are.
Apple
They're all
Jackson.
gifted. They're all gifted.
She is trapped in the ecosystem. She's never getting out.
This is just an example. I'm not trying to hype myself up or anything. This is just an example that I was trapped. And
She's literally never
I mean,
escaping.
technically, so are you, kind of really, aren't you?
No.
You're
Can you
trapped
use
in
those
on- I could-
Google.
Can you use those on an iPhone?
What?
Can you use those your headphones? on an iPhone?
No, because Apple has a
interesting.
proprietary port because they don't want to share ports with other things, and now people are starting to complain about it
Yeah,
because
no, to be fair,
USB
that is very
USB-C
annoying. It
is
very annoying.
exactly
Very
USB-C
annoying.
is so
If I want to charge
useful.
my phone and also use my buds while I work out, it's a bit of a pain.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not agreeing here, but it's whatever. Yeah, bring back the headphone jack. I mean, the headphone port, please.
We should bring back the headphone jack. I agree.
I'll talk to Steve.
As a
and-
society, yeah.
As
That's
a society.
As a society, we've
Start a petition,
treated
yeah.
the headphone
Speaking
port
about headphones, I just
poorly.
had to plug my headphones in because they died, and I haven't charged them for like 3 days.
Yeah, but mine's
Yeah,
just
she had to
mine.
plug her Apple AirPods in.
Stop.
Anyway,
All right, guys. So today's topic goes back to a couple weeks ago when we first started the podcast, and it's going to be about NYIT on sale.
TBT.
If it is, if it's not, we're not 100% sure. But today's episode, we're going to give our opinion. Right now, what we know so far is that all of the storefronts on the block of NYIT has been removed. Our Starbucks, our lovely
Rest in peace.
Starbucks.
Moment of silence for Starbucks. Okay.
All right. So our lovely Starbucks was taken out a couple weeks ago. Was it like a week?
like last week.
Yeah, last
Yeah, I didn't
week.
even know it was that
Which was
sudden.
2 weeks
I didn't know
ago
that. I
when
thought it was
this
closing when
podcast
school
comes out.
started.
Yeah.
So then, and then all the storefronts, especially the one that gives out the aging cream that never gives.
I hated that store.
I'm so glad they're gone.
Like,
No,
excuse me, ma'am, ma'am.
No, they went at it to like
pushy.
always give like samples
Way
to people.
Way
too pushy. But anyways, they all are out of the block. The only people that are basically on this block is NYT. Like,
and an Italian. No,
but no,
it's Indian. It's Indian.
Food.
No, it's closing down.
Really?
That Indian restaurant is supposedly closing down,
See,
according to one of my bosses.
The thing is, like in some of the reports that I saw as well, like they're doing more residential stuff there as well. Like that's why the Starbucks
They're doing
closed.
luxury. They're building luxury condos.
Isn't there an apartment next door to that Indian place?
Upstairs. I think that's how they get upstairs to the upstairs like hall. And stuff
Well,
like
that's
that.
like a.
That's the usual. That's the typical New York. Like, you know,
Yeah.
the way that you get up is like from the staircase in between one of the stores or whatever. But that's what's happening. And the only information that students that go to NYT have gotten is like an email from back in July 10th. And basically stating that there is no imminent sale on NYT currently.
Emphasis on the word imminent.
Yeah, the way that the vocabulary
no
used.
sale of NYC is imminent. That's what they
Yeah, and it's not talking about Old Westbury. It's not talking about, you know, like Vancouver or whatever. It's talking about Manhattan. And, you know, as students who go to NYT Manhattan, it's worrying us, obviously worrying whoever is viewing this and is a part of our, you know, subscribers. But we
Follow us on
wanted,
Spotify.
we definitely wanted to just give our 2 cents in what we personally thought. If it were to close, and also if it were not to close. So to start it off, if it were to not to close, what would you guys think with everything that's gone on and whatever?
Me personally, I would want to just, let's say it doesn't close, I still would be paranoid. I'd want to just finish my stuff up as fast as possible and take all my classes that I need to graduate before anything were to happen, let's say. I would probably push the gas a little bit.
So there's pressure. Either way, if it closes or not,
No,
there's
I
pressure.
think it's like almost like an anxious feeling.
Yeah.
Like I've talked to a couple other people as well, like students and faculty, and it's like even though we've been like reassured,
I don't think it's that reassuring.
100% reassured.
Like,
I wouldn't say so.
No.
yeah, it's just this weird like lingering.
We feel
In the
out
back
the
of your
loop.
head,
We feel out of the loop.
The what
Yeah.
if.
Yeah.
And I know, like, if NYIT, like, during school, like, if I'm still here and, like, they aren't going to sell this campus, like, I don't know if they are not, but regardless if it doesn't or if it does happen, but if in this case, if it doesn't happen, it's still in the back of my head, like, any moment something can happen.
Yeah.
Like, I get everything. I have the mentality that everything happens for a reason. Okay, but, you know, this is my education.
Pretty crappy reason.
This is my education. I'm investing my money, my time. You know, I'm supposed to feel safe. I chose NYIT because I felt like it was like the best option for me. Whatever, whatnot. But even if whatever, it's still a lot to hold on. And let's say if it were to go on sale, what would you guys think?
I mean, I guess from being in Long Island, I would have to go to the Long Island campus.
Yeah, so I don't know if, whoever's listening, the email that was sent out to the students said that if NYIT were to be, like NYIT Manhattan were to sell, then they would give alternative options. One of the options would be going to Old Westbury, which is 2 hours away from the city.
Yeah.
Type.
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
like
Westbury's
And
two
for
and a
me-
half,
Westbury's a little
something like
far,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a 3-hour distance from me.
Yeah, you're coming from Jersey.
You're going
Yeah,
like
down
across
Jersey.
Manhattan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
through.
Even for you coming from the city, it would be, if let's say, would you drive or would you take the train?
train.
I'd take like the LARR out.
Yeah.
But
To Westbury from the train station. It'd be,
So what would you do, David, if NYT
I'd,
sells?
I'd have to drive to Old Westbury every day, which is a little far from where I am in Long Island. But yeah, that'd be my only option.
All right. And then for you, for you, Julian?
I honestly feel like I'd have to transfer. Like I don't think that would be really feasible to have to go out to Long Island and just like not even just getting there, but also like career and networking opportunities are almost non-existent for comm arts majors.
Exactly.
Amen, man.
And
Like,
it's so hard.
Yeah, it'd just
For
be
the
it'd be
local
very
media, it's-
different. And I'd have to look into maybe like City College. I actually know someone who graduated from City College from their film program, and they're doing pretty well. So
That's
like
awesome.
like good for them, but
Not
it'd
so
be-
great for us.
Yeah, it'd be quite the process. Yeah, try not to think about it though.
Yeah.
Trying to stay positive.
Yeah, we're
I mean-
definitely staying optimistic here, and
Trying.
we have time.
Yeah.
If it, let's say, it does
If
happen.
it-
Yeah,
does
But
happen.
like, yeah, the thing about it is that it's a multi-year long process, even if it were to sell. So, let's say they were to sell at like the beginning of
Yeah.
2020, it probably wouldn't go through till like 2024, something like that.
I hope.
Yeah,
Oh
Feels-
my-
this
I
feels-
feel like we should definitely hope for the best.
yeah.
But
Not to play like devil's advocate with
Yeah,
this,
no.
but like
But it's just
we-
it obviously we're thinking more of like the what if it does happen, because like if it does happen, then it isn't just like a slight change in our lives. Like everybody has to, reevaluate and
things.
all this stuff that would happen. Like if Manhattan shuts down, and even if they go to a different borough, and even if I have to go to Old Westbury, I would not continue at NYIT just because I chose NYIT Manhattan because
just be me.
So,
then, huh?
like-
just be me out there.
yeah,
So, like,
sorry guys.
just
Just
from
me out there.
just from like the fear of, okay, if the sale were to go through, just from like the fear of that happening, you wouldn't even want to consider.
I chose NYT Manhattan. I did not choose NYT Old Westbury, and that's for a reason, because I did not want that Old Westbury
Same.
experience.
Same.
And that's gonna go for not only just me, but for a lot of students
Yeah.
at NYIT, especially international students. A lot of the majority of international students here at NYT Manhattan, they're probably gonna be gone. Probably going to relocate to another college or go back to their country because they chose NYT Manhattan. And I'm going to emphasize the Manhattan part, because this is where, we have all our connections, like networking, resources, all this stuff.
Especially
And
in our field, absolutely.
and exactly in our field, and other fields too, you can make it big. But I feel like especially for comm majors, it's so hard.
Actually, not
Easy.
even just comm arts. I mean, there's
like
there's business
design,
business students.
Oh yeah,
there's,
business definitely.
There's architecture students. Like being here, like we're a big architecture campus as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, and there are tech firms here. So like all of our tech students would have some trouble out there. Like science people, there are science firms here and like labs and.
And if they just decide to have 1855 like on the market and stuff like that, and they said it's like a procedure protocol, that stirs up so much commotion for every single one, because the labs are in there, architecture labs, engineering, a library, all the stuff that's in that one building. And say if it's only like 16 and 26 West, like that doesn't help at all. Most campuses in New York City have more probably than 3 buildings, compared to NYIT, and we're in such a great location, but we are just secluded to these 3 buildings, and that's it.
So
and okay,
it'd
the
be-
4th building, which is 33 West and 1th floor, about advising and enrichment, and that's it.
It'd be difficult being like cramped
Exactly.
if like being squeezed into the other 2 buildings.
With,
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
More and more students coming every
And
day,
26
especially.
West isn't really about classes. It's more of like people, like career services is there. Not a lot of classrooms are there. That's like spare stuff and with other things. But we are, if it were to happen, I love NYIT. Like, I love what I've been doing so far, but I would probably have to say goodbye. And
It'd be difficult.
And it's hard. Not only, and I'm not just saying this for like me and for us. I'm saying
It'd be
this for
difficult
like
for a lot of people.
everybody, like international students. There's so many international students that come here. We are a commuter
Sacrificed a lot to
school.
get here,
Yeah.
too.
So many people pay so much tuition, even if it's a couple thousand. But a couple thousand mean everything to kids who come from Queens, Brooklyn, Jersey, anywhere, like a little still means a lot. So this little communication that's happening, it's really affecting everybody.
It's unappreciated, yeah. It's
Yeah,
unappreciated.
and like I'm not just saying NYT does it, but a lot of schools like preach communication and unity between like the staff and the the student body and all this stuff, but there's no communication at all that's happening, which leaves us
there should be some transparency of
rocky.
knowledge, absolutely.
Yeah, and I feel, and also like I get that if NYT Manhattan were to shut down, students will find their way. People would have to probably either take a semester off, figure their way, but staff, the amount of staff that is on board and that will be jobless and their families will be really affected by this and all this stuff. And it's hard not only for students but the staff. And I've talked to a bunch of staff and they don't even know what's going on. Like, they genuinely don't know because there's no communication even with the staff.
It's a weird feeling to like want to be in the loop and like just feel like something's missing.
Yeah.
Something's being withheld from us.
Yeah. Like I don't even know if it's a thing that's happening on purpose. Like maybe there's some kind of mismanagement, but
I just feel like,
I would think they would.
I feel like it's such like a hard thing to grasp.
Yeah.
So maybe I feel like, I'm not saying like he's withholding, like the president's withholding this information because he wants to. Maybe like he doesn't know what's happening or what will happen.
That's what I'm saying. Like there might just be some kind of
issue
like
that's like making
top
us stuck.
level kind of miscommunication, mismanagement that's affecting communication with us, with staff, maybe with the president. So like we just don't know.
We're campus celebrities. We should know this stuff.
We should be in the
I'm
loop.
definitely gonna create a survey soon and like send it out to like kids and see what their opinions are, because
potentially we could link that below this podcast.
Like, will you guys really transfer to Old Westbury? Is that an option for you? Are you guys willing to do that? Like, are you guys going to transfer if it were to happen? But if it weren't to happen, like, are you glad? Whatever. We'll figure out some type of thing to do.
If we can get that done before next
Friday.
Definitely. If you see a survey link in the description, and you go to NYT Manhattan, you work at NYT Manhattan, take the survey, please. Getting this kind of data and maybe sharing it with staff or maybe even President Foley would be very, very helpful. So if you go here, if you work here, and there is a survey link in the description, in the YouTube description, if you see a survey link anywhere on our Instagram, whatever,
definitely take it.
Hopefully it should be a very short survey. Just take 5 minutes out and take it. It would be very useful information.
Yeah, so we can, like, if anything, show and like make it known that it's impacting everybody.
Let's say we showed it to like.
No,
Mr.
I think
Foley,
I
don't think that's
it's
good.
an impact. It is.
It's something.
It's something because I feel like him as a president, he isn't around campus like to know be like that one-on-one to know about like students' personal lives and stuff like that.
But he's trying.
He's trying. But regardless, definitely we'll do that survey, have it sent out, see what you guys think, and when we have more information, hopefully we can give it out to you guys, whoever's listening, and thank you guys for always supporting us. And I think we can say, to wrap it up, because
I think we can transition right into John Wick.
Hey, I was gonna do it.
So
All right, cool.
Right after a little dip in the podcast, we can bring it right back up with some John Wick.
Amen, bro. The beauty that is Keanu Reeves.
Actually, in this week in Keanu Reeves news.
Keanu news.
Keanu's.
Oh, I like that.
Keanu's.
All right.
Marvel is still trying, begging to get Keanu into the MCU, and I would love it. I think it'd be amazing. If anyone,
sure.
If anyone knows who Adam Warlock is, I think Keanu could pull off a pretty good Adam Warlock.
Did you look at the Phase 4 stuff yet? For Marvel?
I saw the Phase 4 stuff.
What are you looking forward to anything in particular?
New Doctor Strange. Oh
Dude, I heard it's gonna be like the scariest monster.
It's
Alright,
supposed to be a horror
alright,
movie.
No,
alright.
dude, Blade.
Listen,
Blade
we're
is
having
gonna-
talks here. Do you watch Marvel movies?
No,
Exactly.
What a shame.
my bad.
What a shame.
Dude, the new Blade.
Blade with
Gonna be
Mahershala
tight.
Ali.
I love
I
Mahershala
still
Ali,
have
bro.
not watched. What is it? Endgame?
Endgame. Well, you gotta watch
Endgame?
Infinity War first, and then
I don't know.
There are some important movies that we
It's
have
I
to
don't
like-
know.
it's like-
Anyway.
you gotta do the prerequisite stuff before you watch
Yeah.
Endgame.
Anyways,
Oh, by the way, how's gym life treating you?
stop! Don't bring that up. I got sick, so I couldn't go to the
Just double
gym.
checking.
And you're paying for it. What a
No,
shame.
actually, I
That's what
haven't.
she said
start-
last time. You just threw it right back in her face.
I haven't started paying for it because like the one time that I went to the gym, I think it was like on Tuesday. When I saw one of the ladies, something was wrong with my ID and said that like they had to like call because like for
So
Get
you
out.
conned them out of a day? Did you steal a day of workouts from
Yes,
the gym?
I
How
did.
dare
Take
you?
that in YMC.
How
Students.
dare you?
Yeah, no, but it's fine. I guess we'll figure it out once I'm back from my trip.
Once you stop
Mm.
being a con artist and
All right,
stealing
yeah, guys.
workouts.
So, in a couple weeks, I will be away for 2 weeks, but I won't be away from the show. I will be on FaceTime,
She's just tired
obviously.
of us. She needs a vacation from
because-
both of us. She
well,
needs a
yeah.
vacation from
She doesn't wanna
Keanu's
work
and-
out?
Yeah.
She doesn't want to talk about John Wick.
I'm fat. I'm boring. Sorry, guys. But
While
definitely.
you're on vacation, just watch John Wick.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And
sure.
Avengers, all like what?
Just watch
All-
50
everything.
Avengers.
all
Yeah.
of my
Like
time
20
there.
something hours. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be away, but that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna be here.
Aw,
Still
dang it, really?
collabing. I know I want
Thought
you
we were
guys.
gonna
Got
get
my
a
hopes
break.
up.
You guys
Yeah.
definitely want me
Boys
gone.
Club.
Goodbye. But anyways, thank you
Talk
guys.
about John Wick the whole episode. She's got.
A deep
I
dive.
won't be here on FaceTime.
A deep dive
We'll
into
meet
John
you.
Wick lore analysis.
All right. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching
Yeah, guys.
or listening. If you guys are listening, probably just listening. I hope.
We
But-
get views.
Yeah, we get views on
We
YouTube.
see you.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I had a wonderful time with my lovely ladies, Julia and
My main man over
Dina.
here.
with these bruises. These bruises. Oh wait, it's right here. These bruises on my arms and stuff.
Battle scars.
Battle bruises. Anyways, thank you guys so much. Have
Thanks,
a wonderful
guys.
week. See you guys next week. Hear you guys next. Oh, what?
Hear you guys?
Well put against
We'll-
that
we'll-
difference.
you
I
can
can't
listen to
speak
us in another
English. You can listen to us in another week. All right, guys.
Or watch us if
Yeah,
you
check us out on Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud,
Google Podcasts.
All that
All
great
the goods.
stuff that we're connected
and,
with.
Yeah, look at our pretty faces on YouTube and make sure to like and subscribe all of our stuff.
Yeah.
All right, thank you guys.
And ring that bell.
Ring that, smash that like button and ring that bell.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, whatever.
Follow us on Instagram, Senor Contreras.
And NIC.
and, yes, we
Maria
can.
Manhattan's
Three.
voice _ pod.
Yeah, that
follow
was.
most importantly, after Senor Contreras, follow Manhattan
Yeah.
Voice.
Yeah. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Love
Adios.
you.
Woo.